Good afternoon, everyone. We'll give folks a moment or two to just arrive. And as people are arriving, just settle in. Find a position that'll be comfortable for the next 30 minutes or so. Could be seated in a chair, could be lying down, could be sitting on a bench like I am on the floor. And we'll go ahead and get started. So I'm Eric. Welcome to the mountain meditation. And for the next 25 minutes or so, we're going to put the world on pause. So I'll invite you to start to settle in, and whether you're sitting in a chair, lying down, or sitting on a bench, just noticing the contact between whatever you're resting on and your body. Notice the feet touching the floor, the hands resting on your lap or on the arms of a chair. Notice whatever is supporting you. And if you're comfortable, start to close your eyes or just cast the gaze in front of you if that's more comfortable. And start to notice that in this very moment, you're breathing. And we're going to do a quick breathing exercise to get started. So we'll be doing what's called 4-7-8 breathing. So you'll breathe in through your nose to a count of 4. You'll hold to a count of 7. And then release slowly to a count of 8 through your mouth. And so we'll do that 3 times on your own pace. Now, what I'd like you to do is envision a mountain. And as you think about a mountain that you're familiar with, maybe it's a mountain that you encountered as a child, maybe it's a mountain that you have encountered recently, or maybe it's just a mountain that you have imagined or seen in a movie. and bring it to the front of mind and start to study it. What does the peak look like? Is it covered with snow? Is it a sharp mountain with jagged edges? How far up does the tree line go? All the way to the top, or is there an alpine up on top where there are no trees at all? And start to look at the characteristics of this mountain as you study it. The rugged edges or the gentle rolling slopes. Notice how it's massive, solid, unmoving. And let it continually come into focus. And it's okay if it's still a little blurry. Just notice what's there. Observing the qualities of the mountain. Stillness, certainty, unmoving, grounded. And as you think about those characteristics, start to bring the mountain into your own body. So your head is perhaps the snow-capped peak. Your arms, the sides of the mountain. Your base, rooted in the ground, unmoving, yet supported by the earth. And as you sit, knowing that mountains face all kinds of weather. Bright sun that scorches the surface, bitter cold wind that slams against the sides of the mountain, heavy rain that pelts the mountain in many different seasons, violent storms. Through all that, the mountain just sits. And even on sunny days, there's always change around the mountain. As the sun moves across the sky during the day, the light casts shadows that change minute by minute. But the mountain just sits. And although the mountain just sits, there's always activity. There's plants, animals, streams, waterfalls. Day emerges, night follows, day emerges again. And that just repeats. During the day, the bright, warm sky, and at night, perhaps stars. Through it all, the mountain just sits. People may come to see the mountain, and they may make comments on how beautiful it is, or they might say, I'm disappointed. I came all the way here and this is all I see. Maybe it's fogged in, or maybe they didn't get what they came for. Maybe it's too cloudy or rainy. That's not what they expected. But the mountain doesn't care. It just sits. None of this matters to the mountain. Clouds can come and go. Tourists may come in and decide they like it or not. Those opinions won't change the mountain one bit. Seen or unseen, in sun or clouds, it just sits. Whether the weather is beautiful or whether there's a violent storm, that doesn't change the way the mountain approaches. So as you think about the unmoving characteristics of the mountain, and as you think about how judgment doesn't matter to the mountain, and as you think about the way even the most violent of storms don't fundamentally change what the mountain is or where it stands, invite that into your own body and into your own practice and into your own life. As you face uncertainty or violent storms, be the mountain, unmoving, certain, at peace with impermanence, expecting change, optimistic. And I'll invite you to think about how those feelings are felt in the body. Through the posture and through the stillness that you're experiencing in this moment. How does it feel to be still? Like the mountain, you have nowhere to go. And in this moment, judgment doesn't matter. And I'll invite you to continue bringing the mountain into your own body until you hear the sound of 3 bells. So start to make some movements, gentle movements with your fingers, your toes, and invite yourself back into the room. I want to close with one of my favorite poems by a Persian mystic named Rumi. Some of you may have heard this before. Some of you may have heard me read this before. Some of you may have heard me read this before many times. But you haven't heard it in this moment and in the context of everything happening right now as you sit here. It's called The Guest House. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they're a crowd of sorrows who sweeps your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whatever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. And as Rumi's words from so long ago ring true in this moment, the guest house is really welcoming all these guests that are really just thoughts. And it's easy to have thoughts of many different kinds in the moment that we're in now. So I hope that you've enjoyed the practice today. And just like you would lean down to whisper to a child or whisper to a good friend, thank yourself for taking the time to put the world on pause. And if you found that this was helpful, we'd ask you to drop some comments and let us know how it was for you and what else you'd like to see. And likewise, if you know of people that would benefit, this is a free service that we're offering to build a community of practice. So please let others know if this was valuable for you. And with that, I'll thank you for putting the world on pause.